Good morning, students. Social Science, lesson number 8, Framing of Constitution and its Features. What is Constitution? Constitution means what is the meaning of Constitution? It is the meaning of collection of rules. Collection of rules framed to govern country's administration. A systematic collection of rules designed or framed to govern country's regime. Regime means administration. And what is the importance of Constitution? Constitution means it is the collection of rules for our country's administration. And importance. What is the importance of Constitution? Importance. Constitution is the basic and most important document. It is the most basic and important document. Laws of the country based on the Constitution. But laws of the country based on the Constitution, and it is the supreme law of the country. Constitution is the supreme law of our country. Supreme law of our country. Constitution is the supreme law of our country. And our different, mainly two types of constitution are there: rigid and flexible. Rigid and flexible. Flexible means we can change at any time. Flexible order. So rigid and flexible. Our constitution is the mixture of rigid and flexible. And why our constitution is called known as live and basic document? Because we can make changes in our constitution, periodically changing according to the requirements of the peoples and people's requirements and aspirations and expectations and interest. According to that, we can change we can make changes in our constitution. That is why our constitution is called a live constitution. Why our constitution is known as live constitution? Because our constitution is not rigid, it is flexible, and we can make changes in our constitution according to the expectations and requirements of the people. We can make changes in our constitution. That is why our constitution is called a live constitution. Then the next process of framing constitution. The framing of constitution started before our independence. So before independence, British government sent 3 members from their cabinet, means that is called cabinet mission, on 25th March 1946. Framing of constitution, when they sent 25th March 1946, framing of constitution. Before independence, on 25th March 1946, cabinet mission, British government sent a cabinet mission to India, cabinet mission that you already studied in lower classes. 3 members from their ministry, and they are called, this mission is called a cabinet mission. Cabinet mission to India to find a solutions. Why they came to India? To find a solution to questions of India's independence. Find a solution how they will give the independence to India. For finding that, for solving that solutions, they sent one mission, that is cabinet mission, on 25th March 1946. On the basis of the recommendation of the cabinet mission, the Constituent Assembly was formed or constituted. According to the recommendation of this cabinet mission, Constituent Assembly was formed. Constituent Assembly was formed according to the recommendation of this cabinet mission. And the structure of constitution was decided by the Constituent Assembly. The structure of constitution was decided by the Constituent Assembly. And when this Constituent Assembly included This Constituent Assembly comprises 385 members. How many members? 385 members from different religion, caste, gender and people from various geographical diversification and experts from various sectors were included in this Constituent Assembly. Among them, the important persons were Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, Shyam Prasad Mukherjee, H.D. Kamath, Frank Anthony, Kanayal Munshi, Krishnadev Iyer, Baldev Singh, and women representatives Sarojini Naidu, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, etc. And this Constituent Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the President of Constituent Assembly. Total Constituent Assembly 385 members were there. Then Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Rajendra Prasad was the President of Constituent Assembly. He was the President of Constituent Assembly. We know that he was the first President of India also. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the President of Constituent Assembly, and a committee was appointed to the draft of the Constitution. Under the draft of the for making draft of the Constitution, a committee was also appointed, and under the chairmanship of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. So, a committee was also appointed for the draft of this Constitution, and the chairman of that committee was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. That committee's chairman was Bhimrao Ambedkar. According to the recommendations of Cabinet Mission, Constituent Assembly was made, and there were 385 members were there, and these members were selected from different field, from different religion, caste, gender, and expert from various sectors, and among them some people were important that I already told you: Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Sarojini Naidu, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the President of Constituent Assembly, and a committee was appointed for the draft of this Constitution, and the chairman of this committee was Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. And the Constituent Assembly met for 165 days spread over a period of approximately 3 years, that is 2 years, 11 months and 17 days. And in this and they discussed different matters, and in this Constitution, first there were 295 articles and 8 appendices. Then after amendments, 395 articles. 300 first it was 295 articles, then 395 articles and 9 appendices. On 26th November 1949, the Constitution was unanimously passed in the Constituent Assembly. When the Constitution was passed unanimously in the Constituent Assembly on 26th November 1949. On 26th November 1949, this Constitution was unanimously passed in Constituent Assembly. 26th January 1950, on 26th November 1949, this Constitution was unanimously accepted in the Constituent Assembly, and 26th January 1950, our Constitution of India came into existence, and India was declared as a republic nation. So 26th January 1950, our Constitution came into existence, and our India was declared as republic nation. Republic nation. Thereafter, every year, 26th January, we celebrate Republic Day with the national fervor. So that we know, after that every year, 26th January, we celebrated as National Republic Day. We have a 4 lions national emblem and national slogan. Our national slogan is Satyameva Jayate. Truth will always win. That is our national slogan. Satyameva Jayate. That is the national slogan. Truth will always win. The Constitution provides for citizenship. Our Constitution gives us citizenship, rights and duties of the people, directive principles of state policy, union and state relations, elections, emergency provisions, etc. These all are given by our Constitution. The Constitution of India is the most detailed and elaborated national document. So our Constitution came to existence on 26th January 1950. Next, preamble. Next, preamble. Preamble is the core and important part of Constitution. Indian Constitution begins with the preamble. When we are starting our Constitution starting with the preamble, and the words written in preamble highlights the soul of the. Some words are written in highlighted in preamble. That is the soul of the Constitution. Which are the words highlighted in our preamble? We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved. You can see that in when we are seeing the Constitution of India, first page only it is written that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India. Solemnly, word sincerity, deep sincerely. So to constitute India, it is sovereign. These are the highlighted words in our Constitution. Sovereign and socialist. Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, then justice. Which words are highlighted in our preamble? Justice, liberty, equality, liberty, equality, fraternity, these are the words highlighted in our the preamble. These are the words highlighted in preamble. Sovereign. What is sovereign? Supreme power, supreme ruler. Socialist and secular. Secular, we know all the religions are equal importance in our country. Democratic, we have a democratic government and we are selecting our representatives. Republic, we have our own government. Justice, socially, justice means nyay. Social, economic and political justice. Socially all are equal, economically and politically. Liberty of thought, we have the liberty, freedom of thought, expression, we have the freedom of expression, of feelings. Belief, we have the freedom of belief. Faith and worship. Then equality, all are equal. Status and opportunity. And fraternity, that is, fraternity means brotherhood, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. So these are the highlighted important words first given in our preamble. And preamble remained unchanged till 1976. Till 1976, there were no changes in our preamble. And in 1976, the words socialist, secular, unity and integrity of the nation were added. 1976, which words were added in preamble? Socialist, some words were added in our preamble. Socialist, secular, unity and integrity. Unity and integrity added. Integrity added in our preamble. So the preamble, important, what is the importance of preamble? What is the importance of this preamble? It as a preamble as a soul of the constitution and is also an important necessity to understand the framing of any law or interpretation. If we have any doubt, then first there is no need for studying or seeing constitution Throughout the constitution we can see only preamble. And if any doubt to understand the policy behind the framing of any law, preamble plays an important role. We can see preamble, then we can understand it. The preamble is a useful tool to avoid the trouble in the interpretation of constitution. When any ambiguity, ambiguity means doubt of ambiguity in law arises, preamble helps in understanding and interpreting the law. Thus, preamble serves as a compass to understand the provisions of constitutional law. Why we can say preamble serves as a compass? Because if we have any ambiguity, any doubt related to any law, we can see preamble. Then preamble gives us detailed information about that law and the constitution. So that is why we can call preamble as act as a compass. Then which are the pillars of preamble? Mainly these the words are highlighted in preamble, but mainly the words inscribed in the preamble are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. We will study the three main pillars of the preamble. Which are the three main pillars of preamble? First one, democracy. Three main pillars of democracy. Pillars of preamble. Three main pillars of preamble. Pillars, you know that when we are constructing the house, pillars are there. So pillars of preamble. Three main pillars of preamble are democracy. First one, democracy. Socialistic and secularism. Democracy. First, democracy. Democracy, the word is derived from the Greek word demos. Demos means people. Demos. Democracy is derived from the Greek word demos, and kratos means power. Kratos, power. So democracy means people's power. Democracy means people's power. Country's power is not in a democracy. Country's power is not within the group of people. Instead, it is within the people of the country. So, in a democratic government, the powers are rested in the hands of the people, not in a one person or group of person. And democratic state administration is such an arrangement in which there is equal justice for people to social, economical and political, and having equal rights to participation. All are equal in a democratic government. Democracy means by the people, for the people and of the people. By the people, for the people and of the people. In a democratic government, we have the right to give our vote. And we are selecting our representatives. Cabinet consists members of parliament. Cabinet ministers is responsible to the parliament. Any citizen of India who have possess required constitutional eligibility, those who have the eligibility can contest in the election without any discrimination of caste, creed, color or geographical partiality. All can participate in the contest in the election. Ministerial positions are not acquired in hereditary. Hereditary means we know that during the king's time, after the death of one king, his son or daughter will become the next ruler. But in a democratic government, if the death of, if something happened to one minister, again we will select, we will give our election will conduct, then we can select our representative. So it is not a hereditary. Each elected government has 5 years of tenure. In democracy, 5 years tenure period, 5 years. 5 years tenure is there. This government works under the principles of constitution and therefore it is known as responsible government. In a democratic government, it is a responsible government. Government can work according to the welfare of the people. So it should be responsible. Principles under the, it works under the principles of constitution. That is why this government is known as responsible government. And in a democratic government, adult suffrage means, what is next? Adult suffrage. suffrage. Adult suffrage means the citizen above 18 age. Any citizen, those who are completed 18 age, caste he or she has the right to give a vote according to his or her choice of leaders without discriminating caste, creed, religion, language, gender, education, income or birthplace. But it is essential that the citizens are enlisted in the electoral list. So adult suffrage means the citizen above 18 years, those citizens having above 18 years, if their name is in the electoral list, they have the right to give a vote without any discriminating caste, color or creed. Next, socialist. Next pillar is socialist. Socialistic. In the year 1976, 40s by the 42nd Amendment. 42nd Amendment. Indian Constitution Amendment. The Constitution of India added the word socialist in Indian Constitution. In 1976, the 42nd Amendment of Indian Constitution Amendment, the word socialist added in our constitution. So most of the provisions in the Constitution of India directly or indirectly, so social revolution, social change, which brought a social and economic equality and furthered the aim of welfare state. Because of this socialistic, there is equality, social and economic equality existed. Then any one particular person, according to this system, any one particular person or group of person should not have the power to over all assets. Instead, everyone should have equal opportunity by getting facilities and provisions. All are equal. All the people, one person or one group of person not having power to control all the assets, all the property. All the people have a equal rights. This all assets. That is socialism. Next, third one, secularism. Third pillar of preamble is secularism. It's an important. In the year 1976, this made also already in our constitution. 1976 42nd amendment only. 42nd amendment. Secular was inserted in our constitution. India is a secular country. India can never become one particular religious country as per the provisions of constitution. India does not follow any particular religion. In our country, all the religions have equal importance. Thus, so the country never promotes any religious activity. The country cannot involve any secular activity with religious activity. The citizen of the country has the freedom of. We have the right to freedom to choose any religion, to accept any religion. As a citizen of India, we can accept any religion according to our wish. The country cannot discriminate any citizen or religious basis. Equal job opportunities and political rights to the citizens are given without any religious discrimination. In this way, secularism is the basic foundation and mandatory compulsory feature of the constitution. Very important feature of our constitution. Sarva Dharma Samdrishti and Sarva Dharma Samabhava are the principles incorporated in the constitution. So no particular religion would be encouraged in any state. There is no prohibition for any citizen to propagate his or her religious means. There is no prohibition or any citizen to propagate his or her religious belief, trust and faith. The state government, state or central government have no right to interfere our religious activities, and state do not have any right to interfere any religious activities, and so the country never promote any religious activity. Country cannot involve any secular activity with religious activity. So today we studied we discussed about the constitution, the meaning of constitution. Constitution means the collection of rules. Then importance, constitution is the basic and most important document. Then process of framing of constitution. Before independence only we started the framing of our constitution and constituent. As before establishing constitution, we established constituent assembly, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of constituent assembly, and the chairmanship of the committee was given to Bhimrao Ambedkar. And our constitution on 26th November 1949, the constitution was unanimously passed in the Constituent Assembly, and on 26th January 1950, Constitution of India came into existence and was declared as Republic Nation. And our national emblem is 4 lions, and our national slogan is Satyameva Jayate. And the preamble, some words are highlighted in preamble, like the words sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. And the 3 main pillars of preamble are democracy, socialist, and secularism. We will continue next class. We will study about basic features of constitution. Thank you.